Okay, thank you very much, Eva. It's a great pleasure to be here. Indeed, I'm the president of Wageningen University and Research, the author of a book called Hamburgers in Paradise, which you may enjoy because it's the history of our food, starting, in fact, in the Middle East, in Israel, many, many thousands of years ago. Now, let's fast forward to 2035 and join me. I'm inviting you to a meal at my home at that very time. What will we eat? And above all, how will we eat? How will we eat is perhaps the most interesting question. First of all, it may very well be that you're not coming to my home, but that you're just there as a hologram. It may even be that I'm, by that time, able to do some deep brain stimulation and have you actually smell and taste the kind of stuff I'm preparing in my kitchen. Or rather, I may not even prepare it myself, but have my little bot called Ali or something like that, prepare most of it. But I do need, of course, your details. I need your genetic makeup. I need not just your food allergies, but your current state of health. And we can easily gauge that from a special watch you will be having at that time. And we'll prepare something that's really tailor-made to you and probably to your microbiome. And it will be a very interesting evening, I hope. It will be interesting because we will be experimenting with different types of food. I may actually have my table lift up a little bit so that we can stand up. Or if you're not in the mood for standing up, we'll put on the chair massage so that you will get enough of a movement in your legs and arms to continue a kind of healthy digestion. Now, of course, you want to know what you're going to eat. The first and most important question for every meal, always, everywhere, is where do the proteins come from? And as you will know or imagine that by that time, our balance of proteins will be quite different from quite different sources. No, I'm not saying that we will cut out meat altogether. In fact, there are good reasons for some people to eat meat in small quantities, but very small quantities. I'm talking about 20, 30 grams and not every day. But we want to have animals because there are large areas of the world where grazing is the only option. But probably most of our proteins will come from plants. Some of it will come from marine sources, marine plants, think of algae, but a lot of it will be the kinds of plants that you now already know. And I'm not only talking about soybean or things like that, because soybean needs a lot of processing. It's still complicated. You have to break the fibers, you have to do something with the flavor, and then you have to reconstitute it in a kind of shear cell technology to make something which looks like a steak. No, we can do much better. We can actually use a protein that's very widely available in green leaves, for example, in beetroot leaves, rubisco, that's the most widely known protein in many cases. And we can feed that to ourselves in whatever form you like. And my kitchen by that time will have all kinds of protein processing kinds of things, whether it's a 3D printer or whether it's a kind of electrical field type of shaker, or I may make some protein drinks for you. But it will be a mix of proteins, and substitution of protein is going to be really quite important. Then, of course, you want to drink. Well, I'm going to be sorry. I think the alcoholic drink will not be there. Maybe somebody will bring an old bottle of wine, but that's not very likely. Now, why am I telling you this? Because the key words here are personalized and precision. That's going to be the future. And I expect a lot of companies will work on that to make food that is actually tailor-made to the individual consumer, to his or her genetic makeup and health status. However, of course, if you're not with me in 2035 in my home here in Amsterdam, you may actually be somewhere else. You may be in the outskirts of Mumbai or Lagos, and you may not have access to any or very little technology. And the key word here is that we need to produce food that is sustainably produced, that is affordable for poor people, and that is nutritious and safe. Food safety, of course, is a very important one. The challenges here are to do, again, the same thing, to work with precision technology. For example, I expect that energy is going to be the least of our worries in 10, 15 years from now. We can work with very small, decentralized solar type of panels or cells that will actually help even small farmers or small industries to work locally with solar energy. I think also that we will work with different types of recycling of water, so that actually water shortages should be something of the past. The key issue here is that our real short resource in a way is the soil itself. The soil in its biological and microbiological characteristics. We do not want to use more soil if we can avoid it. We want to produce where it's best possible and to make sure that we have these precision technologies, which may be mixed cropping, which may be a lot more processing at home or on the farm, and to really integrate the whole food chain. So the labeling, the authenticity of what we eat and where we eat it will be a very strong issue for companies of the future. This requires a lot more thinking, and it requires the really tailor-made chain of technologies that can all work together. But apart from precision, there is one other factor that you should remember, and that is genetics. So because we will know the makeup of plants and animals and humans in a much better way, we can tailor-made through precision technology what we're going to eat and where we're going to eat. So here I am, I'm inviting you to a mealy warm kind of pasté or pistache kind of thing, whatever. Proteins remain the key issue, but you should all eat fibers as well. And getting the right type of fibers are the kinds of things we also need to work on. So there's a lot of scope for companies to really build the food of the future. Thank you very much.